Hey all you wildcats. I miss y'all. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I make sourdough bread from scratch. I buy my sourdough starter from eBay. So let me show you what that looks like. So this is eBay and I just put in sourdough starter. This one's 140-year-old verified heritage San Francisco sourdough starter. It's a popular item, 16 sold in the last 24 hours. It's, what is it? It's 2 heaping tablespoons of a dehydrated starter, and it comes with directions on how to get it started. So this is what my starter looks like right now. You can see it's kind of bubbly. Now we're going to switch gears and go to YouTube and type in sourdough bread. I like America's Test Kitchen on YouTube. I think they're a great source of information and they're going to show us. I'm going to repeat kind of what they do. Okay, I've got my kitchen scale. I'm going to put my container on it and then I'm going to zero it back out. I'm going to add 2 ounces of water. And now I'm going to add in 2 ounces of the sourdough starter. So it'll like come to 4. About 4 ounces and a little bit more. Et voila, okay? And now I'm going to add in 2.5 ounces of King Arthur flour into this mix. This is what I had on hand before the quarantine started. Okay, you're going to stir it until there's no dry flour remaining. So this is what it's going to look like when it's all done, and then you're going to cover it with cloth anywhere from 8 to 12 hours, and then you want to see it double in size. Okay, it's been 12 hours. Let's take a look. All right, you can tell that it's risen and fallen here, and look at how much activity. Look at all those bubbles. This is ready to go. We're ready to cook with this. And we're going to go back to the scale. Put the bowl on top of it, zero it out, and we're going to put in 3 ounces of our starter. The next thing we're going to do is add in about a little over 1.5 cups of room temperature water. Make sure that it's at room temperature or just a slightly warmer. Everything's going to happen at room temperature. Separate bowl, we're going to put 18 1/3 ounces of King Arthur flour, all-purpose flour. It has a bit higher protein content in it. And 1 3/4 teaspoons of salt. Now we put the flour mixture into our sourdough starter and water mixture. Mix, 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 mix. Okay, it's going to look like this at the end, and I used my hands for the last bit. It's going to look a little bit shaggy, and then you cover it with cling wrap anywhere from about 12 to 18 hours. Look how much this has risen, okay? 5 hours later. Yeah. And this is 7 hours later. I mean, look at the growth, okay? Look at how big that's getting in there. All right, that's the active yeast. Okay, let's get started. We're going to get our dough out onto our lightly floured surface using our bowl scraper. It's slightly difficult to show you, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to that test kitchen video on YouTube and have them show you that part.
Use that to pull it out.
I love seeing all the big bubbles on the bottom of the bowl when you pull out a freshly risen dough.
It's so satisfying,
It's
isn't it?
really satisfying.
All right, so I'll set that aside. Now this is an almost no-knead dough, so we are going to do a little bit of kneading. Dust with a little flour on top.
Ooh, that dough looks soft.
So I'm just doing 10 to 15 times here, not very much at all. Looks good.
Oh, that's perfect.
I'm going to pull some of this in here so we get a little tighter top, flip it over, and I like to just do a little of this action. Roll it around, I'm pulling the bottom in, and that's going to tighten that skin just a bit more. Looks good. So just go like this, transfer over to our parchment.
So I got my little Dutch oven. I put my dough in the parchment paper in that and cover it with cling wrap. Okay, we're going to come over here And we're going to pour boiling water into a pan. All right. Look at all that nice steam coming out, all right? We're gonna shove that under there. The cling wrap's on here. The oven stays off. This is gonna give our bread the second rise. So for that second rise, you wanna leave it in the oven for about 2 to 3 hours. Okay, it's been 3 hours, so we're gonna put the lid on our Dutch oven and put it back in the oven. We're going to put it into the oven at 425 degrees for 30 minutes. You don't need to preheat the oven. Just put it right in. Okay, it's been in there for 30 minutes. We are going to take the lid off, and it's going to cook in there for another 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, it's been a half an hour, so let's take it out of the oven. Okay, we're going to let this cool for a bit. There's my bread. This is the underside of it. Ooh, looks yum. One of my favorite things to accompany homemade bread is Philadelphia cream cheese garden vegetable. I wish you guys were here to enjoy this with me, all right? I hope you and your families are well. Stay safe, Wildcats. Love ya.